Just thought they were a bunch of mean girls a couple of days ago, and up until this point, I'm sticking with that. Because they ruined a friend's wedding just because they weren't mature enough to have a conversation. And it just sounded mean.
Yeah, I mean, it was the a-hole domino effect, because really what happened, it was this wedding where the bride was like, okay, we're going to have these bridesmaids and they're going to wear this mauve dress. And so the bridesmaids do what bridesmaids do and they buy the dress. But then like a couple of weeks before the wedding, the bride's like, I changed my mind. I actually want y'all to wear this dress. So I need you to buy a second dress. And of course, all the bridesmaids were like, we already spent like $400 on this dress. We're not going to not wear it. So they all kind of unionized and they got in this group chat and they're like, we're all going to mutually agree to show up in this mauve dress, right? And they're all like, yeah. So then they show up to the wedding in this mauve dress. And of course, this bridezilla goes absolutely insane, upset because she's like, what do you mean you guys are wearing this dress? I thought we agreed that we were going to wear the second dress that I asked you to purchase 2 weeks ago.
What did they expect? And if they really cared about this woman and that was really her friend, they would have handled it in a much more mature way. So let's say they're all upset, and I get what you guys were telling me is that the second dress is a real hassle. It's kind of rude last minute also to say, hey, now you guys got to get dresses without offering to pay for them also. I get the frustration. So somebody in the group say to her, hey, I just want to let you know what's going on with the rest of us. We're kind of frustrated. We don't have the cash. Over. Okay, then maybe we can work through it. But then to scheme against a friend on one of the days that she's going to remember for the rest of her life and ruin everybody's day that was at that wedding also, it just felt like over the top meanness that was unnecessary.
I don't agree that it was a scheme, but I do feel like it could have all been solved if they were just like, hey, we already spent a ton of money, like we can't afford this. I feel like most reasonable people would be like, all right, yeah, just wear them off.
But isn't a scheme when you're like, okay, you guys, here's what we're going to do. We are not buying the dress, and we are going to show up on the wedding day together in solidarity. Unionized. I love the word that you keep using for that. It's scheme. It feels very scheme.
When you put it like that, it's a scheme.
Well, a scheme to me feels like there's malice attached, and I don't think they intentionally. No, I don't think they wanted to hurt her. I think they were like I think they were upset that they were being asked to spend another exorbitant amount of money on a dress that they're going to wear for one day. Like, nobody already wants to wear this ugly mauve dress anyway, but you do it because of your friends or your family, because that's what you do. It's tradition. And so then when you're asked to spend more money on a dress when you shouldn't have had to buy two, they weren't doing it to be mean. They just didn't want to wear that dress because they didn't want to spend more money. The
mean thing is scheming and showing up on the wedding day. That is just mean to do to a friend right there. And I think it was done with malice.
Do you think the French Revolution was a scheme? They are just they're having a bridesmaid revolution. That's all they're doing.
Yes, Tommy.
No, I was talking to him.
Oh, okay.
Were you going to play Les Miserables?
Yeah, but we can't find it.
Oh, okay. I can sing it.
Okay, so that's up until now. But you said we got an email that's kind of justifying their actions.
We did. So obviously this Bert Show listener who reached out to us is listening to us as we read these emails and read the update. And she hit us back and she says, I'm back with receipts. I get that Bert isn't happy with us and thinks we're just a bunch of mean girls.
Dad's not happy.
I sent a link.
It's not that I'm mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah. I sent a link of this segment to the group chat, and all the bridesmaids want to defend themselves, Bert, all right?
Okay.
I know what we did seems harsh, but maybe when you compile all the ways the bride hurt us, our actions will make more sense.
I think you actually brought this up, or we might have talked about it when it happened. Like, you would love to know the other side.
You did.
I did that?
Yes.
That was a good call on my part.
Came from within the own house. So here are the individual text messages from the 5 of us that I collected. These are all of our grievances about the bride and why we felt forced to step into psycho.
Oh, so there is malice here.
Okay, so I'm already rolling my eyes. Okay. All right.
All right, here's the text message from the maid of honor.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to stay open-minded, but I can feel very close.
Okay, just listen to the receipt. These are, again, so yeah, the dress was the tipping point for them, right? The second bridesmaid's dress. This is everything else that has happened leading up to that, which is why they stepped into psycho. The text message she got from the maid of honor. At her bridal shower, I gave her a personalized hand-painted serving platter I had made special just for her. She opened it, looked at it with disgust, and said, "Is this from the registry? I don't remember registering for this." It obviously wasn't from her beige registry. It was obviously a sentimental gift that she shamed me for in front of everyone. So yeah, when the new dress demand came in, came in, that was a big note from me.
Okay, some of this stuff, Cass, you want to get in on this also, is just going to go over my male head because the way that women take a look at weddings and the details of weddings are lost on me. For me, it's just like show up in a tux and it's all good. So what's the major offense there?
That she didn't buy off the registry and came up with something on her own to give her.
Okay,
Well, the maid of honor's offend. Like the maid of honor is offended because, like, if the bride didn't like the gift, then just talk to her, take it back, or it's personalized. You can't take it back. But there's no reason to out her in front of all the guests at the bridal shower that your gift sucks and you didn't go off the registry.
Oh, she's also just being ungrateful. Like, this isn't even off the registry.
Okay.
All right. Here's so that was the maid of honor. This is bridesmaid 1. When I got the invitation, I RSVP'd for me and my boyfriend. Then out of nowhere, she tells me he can't come because she doesn't want randos at her wedding. Randos? I've been with this man for a year. You've met him. That was it for me. The dress change was just the icing on the cake.
Okay, that one I understand.
All right. Bridesmaid 2.
What is the statute of limitations, though, on something like that? Like, how long do you need to be going out with somebody before they're not invited as your plus one?
I don't think it's how long. I think it's how serious.
Okay.
Like somebody can be going out for 4 months and be on the verge of proposing, and other people, it takes years. So I think it just depends on the seriousness of the relationship.
What if they hadn't met in those 4 months? Like, she doesn't even know who this guy is, but he's showing up at the wedding. Does that even matter?
If that's your friend, and because she's a bridesmaid, so it's your friend, so you know her, you're going to know she's in love with this dude. If she's in love with somebody, she gets a plus one and her man gets to come.
Plus, it's the uninviting for me.
Yeah.
Like, if you got an RSVP plus one, then you should be able to bring whoever you want.
Bridesmaid 2. I had a girls' trip to Mexico booked months before she even announced her wedding date. She demanded I cancel it to come to her full wedding experience weekend. I did. Then she told me at the bridal shower I didn't seem enthusiastic enough. You know what I wasn't enthusiastic about? Dropping another $300 for a dress I never wear again.
It makes me wonder, how have they gotten this far in this friendship? Like, you have to know who your friend is.
You do, but I feel like weddings and funerals bring out the best and worst in people.
Yeah.
So sometimes you think you know somebody, and then you see them in a stressful situation, like planning a wedding.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, I never saw that side of that person before.
Okay, so let me ask you guys this. In these first 3 examples, would it have been outrageous for each one of them to approach the bride and just go, hey, this isn't cool. This isn't cool. This isn't cool, individually?
Well, because you're a bridesmaid, you're conditioned to be like, make sure everything's perfect for the bride. So you don't want to ruin her bridal shower. You don't want to ruin, like, the wedding, even though they did. Mm-hmm. So you really you bite your tongue a lot to preserve the bride's vision.
Look, the bride is definitely pulling some moves that aren't, are uncouth. But it sounds like the bridesmaids have problems with boundaries. She could have said no to canceling her girls' trip weekend. They could have said, hey, you invited my boyfriend and now you're uninviting him. That's not cool. And so then to keep that all inside and make an even bigger transgression on the big day, they're not winning me over, I'm going to be honest.
But then it makes me wonder about the bride. Like, what has the bride shown in their friendship that makes them feel like they can't have boundaries? Like, oh, if I don't cancel this girls' trip, then I'm going to be exiled from the friend group.
Why are you in it? It's like a toxic friendship at that point. You know what I mean?
All right, we got 2 more bridesmaids to go through because she had 5 total. So from bridesmaid 3, about a month after asking me to be a bridesmaid, she pulled me aside and said, if you could drop a few pounds before the wedding, the dress will fit so much better.
Are you kidding?
Okay.
I just stood there stunned. I've never forgotten it. When she sent that new dress demand, I thought, oh, no. This body is wearing the dress I already bought. End of story.
Every time I have been in a wedding, 2 times, I'm kidding. Every time, the bride has made sure that either the bridesmaid dress would flatter all bodies, or we got to pick our own. Here's the color, buy it from wherever, find a style that picks your body. A true friend is inclusive. It doesn't demand that you change.
And then the last one, bridesmaid 4, aka me. So this is from our Bert Show listener. So it wasn't just a dress, something happened to her. She said at her own bachelorette party, she got tipsy and announced to everyone that I barely made the cut to be a bridesmaid because we weren't as close anymore.
What?
Everyone laughed awkwardly and didn't really know how to handle the comment without ruining the bachelorette weekend. I admit we aren't close anymore, but who says that publicly? So when the new dress request came in, I already knew I'm not close enough to you to spend money on a second dress. I'm intrigued to know if any of this new information changes your minds.
I think this is, what was a TV show that I watched where you just don't like any of the characters? Was it Succession? Where there was nobody with any kind of redeeming quality.
I think you felt that way about Girls also.
Yeah, maybe Girls also.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you just
God.
don't like anybody on that show.
Every single one of them is absolutely insufferable.
I think we might have the same type situation here, right? Yeah, so clearly this is building up and building up and building up. So you decide to get back at her on her wedding day. So I don't know that anybody's in the right here.
Yeah, I just don't feel like 5 rights or 5 wrongs make a right. You know what I mean? Like, even though she was a terrible friend leading up to the wedding, it doesn't mean that you now have to have crappy behavior. Like, at the very least, send her a text and be like, yeah, we're not wearing that dress.
Right. And I'm assuming now that organically they are not going to be friends with the bride at this point. This is over.
There will be at least one of them that hangs on.
Really?
Yeah, female
Still.
friendship is messed up.
The Bert Show.